The American music industry was thrown into mourning earlier this week when news of music executive Irv Gotti filtered in. You see, Irv Gotti was actually not just a music executive but one of the biggest producers and the best, if I may add, to ever do it in the music industry. Irv was loud, he was bold, he was in your face, he took no nonsense from anyone, He always spoke his mind. He didn't mind if it will hurt you or not. As far as it was concerned, he was living in his truth. And of course, this brought a lot of beef around him. And his former friends were spared, one of whom is Ashanti. Now, people have been waiting for a response from Ashanti ever since Irv passed because of the relationship they once had. Now, she has finally responded. And what did she say? Find out after the jump. Hey guys, how you all doing? Welcome back to the station. First off, please subscribe to the station and share this video, and don't forget to leave your comment. It's a conversation starter. Now let's get right back into it. Irv Gotti was one of the biggest producers who did his thing, Turns out that he was a pretty big deal in the music industry. He worked at Def Jam. He discovered some of the greatest people that we know now. I think he partly discovered Jay-Z. I think he even executive produced or did something on Jay-Z's first album. However, there was somebody he discovered that I didn't know until his passing, and that is DMX. Yes, apparently he bet on DMX when no one would. He wanted to sign him to Def Jam, and they felt DMX was a pass, that he wasn't worth it, but he stuck by him, and the rest is history. He introduced us to one of the greatest rappers that ever lived. Now, because of the politics at Def Jam, I think that prompted him to go start his own record label known as Inc. I don't think I can pronounce the name, because of YouTube guidelines, but you know what I'm talking about. Yes, he founded that label, and that label introduced us to Vita. She was a rapper. It also introduced us to the immensely talented but funnily underrated R&B singer Lloyd. However, two of his biggest acts till date still remain Jaru and Ashanti. Now, I'm not going to go into the whole nitty-gritty of the beef he had with Ashanti. We all know what happened, how he felt betrayed, that she abandoned him in his words, and he was pretty nasty to her, if I must be frank. The truth is that Irv got into it with everyone. Like I said earlier in the video, he was outspoken, he spoke his mind, he didn't care if it hurt or not, to me, which was him being diplomatic most of the time. So he hurt a lot of people, one of whom is J-Lo. According to what I read, I think he actually talked about J-Lo singing. He dissed her singing, and in his defense, he claims he was drunk during the interview. However, one of the biggest beefs he had while alive was the one he had with Ashanti. Ashanti wasn't just his label signee. She was actually allegedly in a relationship with Irv. I mean, there's no need going down the rabbit hole. We won't know what happened. I won't know how Irv got very bitter when, she left. And he kept that malice in his heart for years on years till the very end. I remember he granted an interview. Was it Drink Champs? Go check it out. It was a pretty good one. He granted an interview when he was mad disrespectful to Ashanti, called her a lot of unprintable, unspeakable names, which I felt wasn't fair. I mean, This is someone he was once friends with. Sometimes you have to take the high road when you feel hot, especially when the person has been nothing but respectful to you. Oh no, Ashanti snapped, and even when she responded, she was still classy, very, very classy. Now, people have been talking since he passed on. So many people have been camping. What's she going to say? Oh, Ashanti must be happy right now. She must be glad that he has passed. She must be really, really feeling good right now. Finally, she can get a breather. No, people have been saying that. Well, Ashanti has finally responded. And this is what she had to say about his passing. She posted it on IG. I can't believe things ended like this and makes me so sad. Weren't on the best terms the past few years, but as I've always said, through our ups and downs, I will forever be grateful for everything that you've done for me. We made history, and that will remain infinite. I've always respected your musical genius and ability to push me to be my best. All the greatness and positive things that came far outweighed the dark and negative times. I have always prayed for you to find peace, sending love and prayers to the entire family. Rest well. Wow. If you ask me, this is a really classy response from someone that was antagonized by this other person. But like I said, I'm not going to dwell on the negativity because I don't really like dragging the dead. I'm all about respect the dead. The truth of the matter is that Irv Gotti was a genius. We're not going to rule that out. We're not going to take his flowers from him. Nah, he was a musical genius. But do you know, I didn't know the level and extent of his greatness and contribution to hip-hop until his passing when I read about him. I'm like, this guy was good. But why was he not, as respected as some other producers? It all boils down to his personality. Anyway, now someone around me, when I read this and I was reading, our person was like, Ashanti is a real class act, that she will never do this, and that man put Ashanti through hell while he was alive, so why try to be nice and I even pay his passing any attention or any mind? I'm like, well, sometimes some people believe in peace no matter what. First off, Ashanti is a Libra. You know how Libras are? They always like to be on the good side of everyone. Not that was the case here, I'm just saying. But guys, do you think, like the other person said, Ashanti would have paid his passing dust? She would have ignored him? Or do you think she did the classic thing of actually, being respectful, paying her last respect and being respectful in her choice of words? Let me hear in the comments below. Now, speaking about respectful, one person that refused to respect the dead is 50 Cent. Yes, 50 Cent immediately when he heard about Irv's passing, clowned him and was, his words and everything he said was in bad taste. And trust the internet, most people weren't having it. They called him out on what he did and they said it was bull, and I think he had to take down one of his posts. Let me leave with this is my thought process on life. Try as much as possible to be at peace with most people that came into your life, but even when you can't really get along to the point where you quarrel and you are not speaking anymore, always think about the past. I'm a firm believer in, I always try to remember the good people did for me, or the good things people did to me, while they were alive, no matter what. I always hold on to that, in my dealings with people. I guess that's what Ashanti did here. There's no need being bitter. You see, one thing about death, especially death of people that were in close proximity with us, people we knew, once we knew, people we know, is that it makes us sober, it makes us reflect. And when we reflect, most times we like to weigh the ups and the downs, and we normally tend to look at the ups. That's why some people say, why is it that when somebody passes away, they suddenly remember the good side of the person? That's because death has a way of making us reflect. And in most cases, even when you know and you acknowledge the shortfalls of this person, you also know and acknowledge the person's strengths and how the person affected you positively. Death is not just a leveler, but it gives us time to think about life. Try to connect with that person no matter what. That person hurts you, yes, try to connect with the person. And you, who, if you've been hurt by anyone, forgive. No need being bitter. Forgive. Now it's me signing out. Daily Stentor here. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Till next time. Bye.